yours as well for us.
I have many questions, but I'll limit it.
Well, all right, just start with one and see where it goes.
Recently, through following my excitements,
Yes.
I have been using the permission slip of ayahuasca
Yes.
and have been connecting with who I feel is King Solomon.
Well, you can connect archetypally to many of those vibrations, just as other people do, if they feel that that particular frequency domain or level of consciousness can be of aid and assistance in delivering information and energy to you to help you in your path.
That's exactly what I feel.
All right. So, what do you do with that energy? What do you do with that information?
Study.
Study what?
Myself.
Well, all right. Is there anything else you do with it out in the world? Any other way you apply that energy?
Through action.
Of what?
Expressing love.
In what ways?
Hugging my kids.
All right. Anything else?
Loving my wife.
All right. Do you have any creative expression? Physically?
Physically, I'm a carpenter.
There you go. Thank you. Is that exciting for you? Yes, no?
It is in the aspect of I connected with ancient Egyptian pyramids and building that way.
All
Not
right.
so much as in a job.
I understand. It doesn't have to be a job.
But I find happiness in being part of transforming matter into shelter.
All right. Therefore, you are drawing upon some similar aspects from the Solomon energy in that there was a temple of Solomon, yes?
Yes.
Which was creating a sacred space with a certain resonance that would allow people to find balance within themselves, yes?
Yes.
So there you go.
A question I have is more not in the material
Yes.
world, but more in the spiritual temple.
Oh, all right. And so, what is your question?
How do I...
And by the way,
Yes, sir.
what's so non-spiritual about physical reality?
They're both one and the same.
They are different expressions of the same thing, yes.
Yes. I guess I'm trying to have an awareness of the temple inside rather than out. The awareness I would like is to be able to use this gamma state to connect more spiritually aware to Solomon.
Well, you can use it that way if you wish. It's up to you. Nothing's stopping you from doing that.
How do I recognize that frequency?
I thought you already did. You're already using the name, so you must recognize it somehow.
I do.
Well, then, why are you asking how to recognize something you already recognize? Do you not trust your recognition of it?
I do trust.
Then why ask?
I guess I would like to be able to, in simple forms, do exactly what you're doing, but with that frequency.
Well, go ahead. What's stopping you?
I am, obviously.
But
I'm not aware of what about me
But
is.
specifically, what is stopping you from doing it? Are you talking about vocal channeling?
Yeah, or writing.
Yeah, that didn't sound very certain.
Well, I don't want to limit myself to just vocal.
Oh, I didn't say you had to.
Yeah.
Did I?
No.
All right.
That was me.
So, is that one of the expressions that you're talking about?
Yes.
All right. Any other expressions? Automatic writing, something else?
Yeah, all of it.
Well, all right. So, are you starting to do it? No?
No.
Well, why not? You don't know how to begin?
That's why I'm here.
Oh, all right. Well, one of the things about vocal channeling that makes it a little easier is if you actually sit down in front of a group of friends who are actually asking questions they want to know the answers to. Because then you can get out of your own way and let them pull the information through you from whatever source you're tapping into in the same way that electricity is grounded. Because if you're just doing it yourself, you're always sitting there wondering, what am I getting? Why am I getting this? Is this the right thing to get? Because you don't need to go into that kind of an altered state just to receive information for yourself alone. The only reason that this altered state really exists in the way that it's being presented here is so that the thoughts of another can be translated into your society and into your language. So if you want to do it that way, then you need somebody asking the question so it will pull the information through you to them. Otherwise, it just stays in you and swims around a little bit. So that's one way to amplify the idea of vocal channeling. Automatic writing, again, you could still do that and have somebody else asking the questions so that you can just go with the flow, not have to pay attention to what's happening, and just let whatever comes through come through. And with more practice, you'll be able to focus in on it, fine-tune it, start to recognize what the energies are, along with integrating different aspects of your own consciousness, and then it will become familiar to you, and you'll know what you're doing.
Thank you.
Yes? So
May
does
I
that
ask
help?
you- Yes, it does. May I ask one more question?
That was a question. You want to
behalf
ask
of my
another
wife.
one?
One more.
Oh, all right.
My wife requested that I ask if there is a known energy that she had a dream in Sonoma that she had a ceremony in her dream with people in all white. Many, I don't know how many, but she said many people in white.
Yes.
And as she was waking up, she felt like something was trying to come through her into her crown chakra, named Azarat.
All right.
Do you?
It's a representation of her own higher mind that she is attempting to integrate so that she can go further later.
Okay.
Because she's connecting to other aspects of her being that are part of groups, part of council groups. But right now, it's the idea of the integration and expression of her own higher mind so she can get used to that before she brings something else through.
Okay.
Yes, she's working with herself on another level. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense.
All right. Does that help?
Yes.
Then pleasant dreams.
Be well.
Always.
Bashar.
And a you good day.
So I have kind of a permission slip question.
Yes.
Have I ever met part of my oversoul on Earth? Another human?
Yes.
All right, cool.
Is that it?
No, well, no.
All right.
Cool. How many people?
How many counterpart from
Yeah.
the same oversoul do you have in your particular lifespan?
How many have I
15.
met? How many have I met thus far?
You have crossed paths with about 5.
That is
You haven't
so
actually
tricky.
met all of them per se, but you've crossed paths with about 5.
Love it. Is Christina one of them?
Not going to tell you that.
Probably is then.
Not going to tell you that either.
It's all good. It's all good. I wasn't trying to trick you into it.
Anything else?
Maybe on some level. Yes. So just when I buy into the negative beliefs.
Yes.
But then I feel like, okay, so I'm following my anxiety, but I'm aware that I am, and I'm okay with that as long as I'm making process the point. So I'm neutralizing the
Yes.
energy.
Yes.
Then I'm being my true self.
Yes, by working with what comes up, recognizing the difference between what you prefer and what you don't, and then choosing what you prefer without invalidating what you don't prefer, and moving forward in that direction then.
Right. I've been choosing my anxiety a lot.
Well, all right. Is that exciting for you?
Apparently it's thrilling.
Apparently. But again, the idea is that that's because your motivational mechanism is backwards. That's all. You've attached belief systems that make what it is that excites you seem less exciting than what it is that you don't prefer by attaching a belief to it that makes it seem more exciting than what you do prefer.
Yeah,
You
I
just have to reverse those beliefs by finding out what they are and seeing how illogical it is where you've attached them and change the attachment.
Yeah, my negative beliefs, like, definitely the motivational mechanism is a little backwards sometimes because I just think, well,
It's not that the mechanism is backwards, it's that your belief system
right.
is attached to it in a backwards way.
Yeah, I think, well, if I follow my excitement, what if it's really not that exciting, which is
But again, how
obviously
can that possibly
contradictory.
actually be? So you have a definition attached there that is less than the definition, or other than the definition, of actual excitement. Because how can your excitement actually be anything less than exciting?
Right, exactly. Also, am I in a part of the hybrid stuff going on?
The hybrid stuff? Isn't that what you put in the middle of your Oreo cookies? Stuff? Yes, you are part of the hybrid stuff that's going on.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Like, so I'm in it. I'm in there. I'm in the middle of it. Involved.
Yes.
Pleiadian vibes, maybe? Parallel life on the Pleiades?
Now you're talking about other kinds of connections that you may have, yes. And Sirius, and Orion,
Oh, man.
and Arcturus, and some other hybrid stuff that we won't go into.
Okay, the relevant, yeah, I feel I'm learning more about hybrid children and stuff, and before I felt a connection to the parallel life in the Pleiades and a parallel life in India, and other stuff is becoming more relevant.
Well, you're dealing with a lot of stuff.
A lot of Oreos. I do love
Hopefully
snacks.
it won't knock the stuffing out of you.
Hopefully it will,
Oh, all right.
because that seems exciting.
Yes, all right, it can be.
I don't remember a lot of my dreams, but I'm starting to think that they're on ships and.
Sometimes, not always, but sometimes.
Okay, great.
Anything else?
No.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you
Thank you.
for going over your stuff with us.
Anytime you want to hear it, Bashar.
All right.
Hello, Tadeo.
Nania.
We have about 20.
What is your time? It doesn't matter when you need to leave the room.
No. So if we.
You may draw 3 more if you wish.
I have some more questions from Ustream.
Then you may draw 2 more.
Okay. Mike. Very good. Okay, the first name is Miguel Hernandez. And the second name, drum roll, Thomas Slavin or Slavin. All right. Okay, we'll let them ask their questions, and
Yes.
then we'll do the last few from our Ustream listeners.
All right.
Hello, Bashar.
And a you good day.
Hi. It's really exciting to be here, and thank you so much for bringing all this knowledge to us. And
No,
for
I will
everybody
thank
that
you for the
set this
co-creation.
up. So
Yes.
thank you. Wow, suddenly I'm like nervous, and everything's going on in my head. But
What would you like to discuss?
so I'm a massage therapist,
Yes.
and recently, since I've come into all your information and all your knowledge, I feel like all these negative definitions have been coming to the surface.
Yes.
And it's been-
Congratulations.
thank you.
How exciting.
Yeah, and it's interesting because when I'm doing massage on my clients, I'll see little bits of light and little flashes.
Yes.
And I'm just, I've heard a lot about negative energy, and that being something that, as a massage therapist, in a way, I'm helping as a permission slip for the person to let go of.
You can, yes.
So I'm wondering if, is that something for me to, like, what is that? What's with the lights?
Well, as we said, when you expand your consciousness, your senses also sharpen to be capable of seeing things that were heretofore invisible to you. Because there are different energy patterns and different kinds of levels of consciousness and beings all around you all the time, passing through, coming and going. But the idea is now some of these things are becoming more visible. So you are stretching your senses to be able to sense fluctuations in energy, be they negative or positive, be they release or otherwise. You are now creating more capability within yourself to be able to sense and see these things. So you can gain some more insight into how to use these sights to guide you in your work.
Oh, and then, so is that, so just by experiencing them or seeing them?
You'll figure it out. You'll know what to look at and when and what it means eventually. It'll all fall into place.
Okay. And I guess, another question. So with all of this, something that I've been experiencing, and I would think that other people as well would experience with the energy and all. You mentioned the idea that there's universal energy that's kind of transpiring or occurring.
Yes.
And I tend to feel it a lot in my chest and my throat.
Yes.
Sometimes I'll just wake up in the middle of the night. It'll be like really early, maybe like 3 a.m.
Yes.
And
that's a typical time to be more sensitive to higher frequency energies.
Yeah, and then, I try to,
You what?
Well, I experience the energy.
Thank you.
And at first I see it as, sadness in my mind, but then I realize, well, this is just energy.
Yes.
And I'm trying, so it's been kind of interesting. I guess I'm
well,
more sharing than asking.
You may be releasing old things, or you may simply be going through the spectrum of emotionality in order to arrive at a different level. Sometimes this is what happens when you're connecting to other things, is you kind of go through layers of things that exist in your reality, but they're not really your feelings. You're just going through the spectrum of emotions that are available around you until such point as you can rise above or integrate them all and then go on from there into a different experience. Wow. This is actually quite typical when people start channeling. They will sometimes actually feel a complete gamut of emotionality. It isn't necessarily that they truly feel that way, but they're feeling the integration of all those things within their being so they can get to a higher level and allow the channeling to occur. Because you are, as a species, very compartmentalized. And so when you go into a more holistic expression, you sometimes have to go through that spectrum, up the ladder, so to speak, and bring all those things with you in a more integrated way. But you may actually feel them distinctly as different emotional levels.
Right, and then so then when, the idea of integrating that.
Yes.
Because something that I kind of, in my mind, when I experience a negative emotion, and then I kind of stumble into the belief, it doesn't come in as necessarily as like a statement, like I believe this.
Yes, yes, yes.
It comes in this kind of a feeling, kind of a knowledge, but then then I guess my mind goes, oh, okay, well, is it gone, or did I integrate it completely?
Well, you can always examine if you did.
Right.
You can test yourself with different belief systems, different circumstances. You can go through a gamut of different opportunities, different circumstances and situations in your life and see if you're responding or reacting to them still to gauge what those emotions may or may not have been representative of. But if you find that there is no real negative reaction to any of that, then you can usually determine that you have sort of cleared your slate of that.
Okay, even as the feelings are still there, because I guess I'm wondering what's mine and what's, I've heard you say that it's like in just the universe.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You can check within yourself to find out whether it has anything to do with you or whether you're just picking up on something else that isn't really your issue. By going through your own gamut of, well, all right, how am I responding or reacting to this circumstance in my life, this circumstance in my life, this circumstance in my life? And if you find that you're relatively neutral or positive on all of them, then you know most likely it's not your issue that you're feeling. You're just picking up on the emotional matrix around you for a variety of other reasons that you can use in positive ways.
Wow, awesome. And I have another question regarding the sun.
The sun?
Yeah.
Yes.
you know, as growing up in the tropics and where I'm from,
Yes.
I loved sunbathing and being in the sun. And
Yes.
you know, I hear a lot of, you know, with skin cancer and all of that.
Yes.
You know, there's this kind of fear around the sun, but then at the same time,
Yes.
I feel a lot of, you know, I've heard of the sun gazing and the idea of being able to take energy directly from the sun. And
Well,
I feel
yes. Our
great
civilization now only supports itself on pure electromagnetic energy and the energy of space and time. But again, the idea is that if you understand you're at a certain point in your evolution where your belief systems cannot necessarily and don't need it necessarily to transform certain things, then it might be wise not to stare at the sun.
Oh, okay.
Do you understand?
But
So if there is a natural reason why you need to develop the ability to do so, your life will bring that about. But you don't have to necessarily assume that if I don't have the ability to do this, I'm not as spiritual as I could be.
yeah, no, I mean, I really enjoy being on the sun, and
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's doing any harm, but it's not like I'm
Well,
just
pay attention to your
frying, you
belief
know?
systems, really. Pay honest,
Right.
close attention to your belief systems, and you will find that you'll be guided to know what amount of exposure is appropriate and what is not relative to your belief system and how much of the consensus reality that you're buying into. You just have to be very, very open, honest, and clear within yourself about exactly how far your belief systems go, so that you're not forcing yourself to go farther than your belief systems will actually allow you to go until you actually change them.
I see.
Does that help?
Yeah, that's great.
Anything else, or is that it?
No, I think I'm good.
All right, well,
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, how's it going?
Perfect, and you?
I'm doing really good. Thanks
Oh,
for
all
asking.
right.
My first question is that I was just curious to kind of know what would be like the main reason why other people from other realities basically feed off of chakras from humans and also
Who says
our
they
planet?
do? Who says there are such beings?
Well, I do feel that they always, go to the chakras of the planet and they use them in a way to kind of feed off the energy of the
Ah,
planet.
I
in that
see what
way.
you are referring
But
to.
also on a human
Why do
scale
you
as
use
well,
batteries in your automobiles?
because we need to fuel them.
Then there you go.
So do they feed off like human chakras as well?
Not really.
Okay.
Not in the way that you mean that, no.
Okay. And my other question is, I actually had an experience about a month ago where I went to, I don't know if you know Tolik from the Andromeda Council. I actually
Not by that name. That is not something that translates into our understanding. But we understand Andromeda Council.
Okay, because I went to go meet with him about a month ago. And I was wondering if you can add a bit more clarity to the situation, because I know there's like an infinite amount of parallel realities that actually took place,
Yes.
but I'm not really sure exactly which one I'm in necessarily.
You're in this one right here.
I understand that, but is it based on just how I feel about it? And can I switch myself to the one that I prefer just based on my thoughts?
You have to switch yourself to the reality that you prefer based on your beliefs, not your thoughts.
So,
What you believe to be true creates the state of being that is responsible for shifting you to the frequency of the reality that is commensurate of that state of being. And the state of being comes from what you believe to be true or know to be true.
okay, so is it possible that because of my beliefs that there are beings putting thoughts in my mind to make me think a certain way?
You can create the experience that that's happening, but you're the one agreeing to create that experience for yourself. So they're not able to actually put them directly there, but you're able to operate on a frequency level that says that such a thing is possible, and therefore you're accepting from their idea that it's possible and inserting those thoughts in your own head.
Right, so in other words, I basically,
It's like a form of hypnosis.
okay,
The idea being that they've convinced you that such a thing is possible, and therefore you are willing to suspend your disbelief and do it to yourself. But you're the one doing it.
okay,
So you can stop it anytime you want.
so I could decide to basically just not believe in the thoughts. And then also,
Yes, if they're not relevant to what you prefer, of course. They have
Okay.
nothing to do with you if you don't prefer to have anything to do with them.
is it possible that I contracted them to do that to me?
It's possible that you attracted it so that you could prove to yourself something, perhaps even using the negative idea to more clearly establish what it is you do prefer as opposed to what you don't prefer. Sometimes people on your planet will do that. They'll experience the idea of negativity to a greater degree so that it helps them clarify what it is they prefer instead.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's definitely a lot more clear to me now.
All right.
I also do door-to-door sales for
Yes.
a living.
Yes. Is
Now-
that exciting to you?
It actually is.
Oh, all right.
I wasn't gonna at the
What
start.
do you sell?
I sell organic food.
Oh, all right.
So I was thinking at the start that I was gonna ask you whether or not it was the path, but
Well,
now
if it's
that-
exciting, then it is right now.
Yeah.
Not that you can't do other things that are also exciting simultaneously in your life. Yes?
Yeah, that's correct. Like I feel now that I've been in the swing of it for about 2 months. That I do feel that it is the path, and I've also
All right.
gotten feelings from other people that I'm gonna be very successful because of it. So
All
if I
right.
just
Well, you'll
stay-
find out, I guess.
Yeah, I'll
But
just have to
again,
keep doing it.
if that's what you feel is exciting right now, then right now that's your path. If it changes tomorrow, it changes tomorrow. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You'll find out when you find out.
All right.
Right now, if that's what excites you, stay in the moment with it. See what happens. You don't have to know what's going to happen. All you have to do is know that whatever happens, if you're operating from the present in your preferred state of being, is that whatever happens will be exactly what needs to happen. Therefore, who cares what it is? Because it will be perfectly what it needs to be.
Okay.
Yes?
Yeah, that
Have I
makes sense.
sold you on that?
Yeah, you could say you have.
All right.
Kind of sold myself there.
Yes,
but-
you did. Very good. Because that's actually how salesmen are successful.
Yes,
They transmit the idea in a way that the person sells themselves.
that's correct.
I know. That's why I said it.
Also, from your perspective, are you seeing all the multiple realities happening simultaneously, or are you only
Not all
seeing-
of them, just all the ones that are relevant for me at any given moment.
So you're seeing multiple realities happening at the same time. Like, for example, you're seeing my
Patterns.
path.
Patterns of energy that represent multiple realities to whatever degree we need to perceive them to communicate with you.
Okay, so it's basically geared towards me, and
Right
how
now
my
it is.
energy is now.
Right now it is.
Right.
In my own life, obviously, at certain moments, it's geared more toward me.
And what are you doing right now? Are you just hanging out on a spaceship, or are you?
I am, as you say, hanging out on my spaceship in a state of repose to amplify and magnify the telepathic connection between myself and the channel so that he can function as the biological translator that can allow my thoughts to be translated into your language so that we can have this conversation, yes.
And what's your favorite thing to do outside of work, like on your spaceship or on your planet?
Well, right now, this is my favorite thing. Otherwise, I will be exploring other realities, other dimensions, other civilizations. I'm a first contact specialist, and I am, in that sense, trained to make first contact with different civilizations. But this is the way we usually do it. We have a life, at least one, in the civilization that allows us to have some experience in that civilization so that when we make contact through our own other life, we have some sense of what that civilization is about so that we are not too alien to each other. Pun intended.
Right. So when Darryl's living his life, you have
Yes.
full access to all his memories and all the things.
Only
that he's
what I
seen?
need.
Okay.
Again, I only have what I need when I need it. Otherwise, I don't have it. It's the same idea in transmitting much of this information to all of you. We impose or allow automatic filters on our consciousness so that if we were going to transmit any information that would intervene or interfere with any of your processes inappropriately, we simply will not know that information.
All right.
We may know it when we stop having this conversation, but we won't know it while we're having the conversation if transmitting it to you is inappropriate.
Okay. And I think this next question is really fitting to the area that we're in now.
Yes.
As far as our planet and it transforming and going through its transformation, what can you say about earthquakes and the San Andreas fault line? I don't want to come from a fear
All right, but again, remember that you're not transforming the planet, you're shifting to other planets that are more reflective of the change you've made within your own vibration. Nevertheless, to address your question, generally speaking, some people will be able to understand that they can only imagine changing when they shake themselves awake. Other people will know that they can transition in smoother ways. And
Right.
even if something is experienced by them, it doesn't in any way, shape, or form have to be detrimental or negative, even if other people right next to them are experiencing it that way.
So it's really just going to come down to the individual and how they feel about the
Absolutely.
planet and themselves.
How they believe. Yes.
Okay, I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
I
Is
do
that
want-
it?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for, everything you've done for me. It really helps, like, listening to your work, especially in the environment I put myself in with door-to-door sales.
Yes. Well, thank you for having done it to yourself.
And your friend back there definitely sold me on the Asasani crystal, so, good job to her, and hopefully it helps me with my job.
All right. Good job all around then.
All right. Thanks for your
Thank
help,
you very
Bashar.
much.
Have a nice day.
Narnia.
Yes, hi Tadeo. Okay, the first question has to do with the sighting of the missile
Yes.
that happened recently.
Yes.
And the buzz that it created on internet about UFOs and all of that.
Yes, yes. Well, there were UFOs involved in observing that, but the thing itself that was observed was a missile plume.
Right. So, of course, on one level, it's simply a missile going off
Yes.
and people seeing it and misinterpreting
Yes.
what was going on.
Yes.
And then on another level,
It was people sensing that there were extraterrestrial and other dimensional beings paying attention to the launch and sensing their presence as being involved in the entire incident somehow, thus sometimes maybe misinterpreting that what they saw was the actual extraterrestrial that they were sensing the energy of.
right. And so as a result, even though it was a missile launch,
Yes.
there was actually an ET contact experience available to
Yes.
everyone that was paying
Because
attention.
it drew their attention to a particular point in the sky that caused a magnification and an amplification that allowed the Yael to determine how ready you were for another appearance of one of their ships.
So I thought that was pretty cool too. So thank you for sharing that with everyone.
Yes.
And the fact that we did actually have a contact experience.
In a
even
sense,
though,
yes.
Yeah, in a sense. Innocence.
Innocence.
We're innocent. In a sense.
Yes.
Okay, so the
Not
next...
to missile interpret that.
I should know better than trying to outdo you on puns. Okay, so the next question is, if excitement can change quickly and changing direction when then can mean that you have not followed through with a commitment, and especially in areas like marriage and
Stop.
parents.
Stop. Once again, this is a misunderstanding of the definition of excitement. If a commitment is made within and from within the vibration of excitement, synchronicity will allow you every opportunity that you need, that you require to fulfill the commitment. If a commitment is not made within the vibration of excitement, then that's where you can come up against the idea that suddenly you find that it's not necessarily something that you can fulfill. So you have to understand from which state of being the idea of a commitment comes from and is made in.
So basically what you're saying, if you're in the middle of a project and you don't feel like doing it anymore, you can't go like, oh, well, this is no longer part of my excitement. I'm not doing it anymore because Bashar said, right?
Well, in the circumstance as you're describing it, it is most likely a misinterpretation of the concept.
Exactly.
If you are following your passion truly, first of all, A, you would not really want to give it up because there wouldn't be any other choice that's as exciting. If the excitement wanes on its own and you know that you're still within your vibration of excitement, then as we said before to other people in this transmission, it's probably an indication that what your excitement is telling you is now you need to be excited about turning left or turning right or acting on another expression of the excitement, but you're still within the vibration of excitement. It's not like you're losing the excitement. It's just that the wind is shifting in your sails so that you can navigate in a different direction and in a different expression of your excitement. It's not that you're actually giving it up. You have to look at this holistically as a path.
Right, and it's really also that idea of sort of the umbrella concept.
Yes.
Like even if you're working on a project and there are elements of the project that aren't exciting to you, that doesn't mean that the whole project's not exciting. If
Well,
you put it under
yes and no. Again, you have the opportunity to determine for yourself whether those unexciting elements could be allowed to be exciting by doing them in a different way, thus bringing it all under the umbrella of excitement, or whether those little bits and pieces are actually signals that it may not actually be the most exciting thing you could be doing. You have to make that determination honestly for yourself.
and delegate.
You can. That can be one exciting way to take care of things that you yourself are not excited to do, because that's the idea of cooperation and community.
Right, and then you're back in your excitement again.
Exactly. It's finding the path that works for you, finding the definition that works for you and the others with whom you're involved that's exciting to everyone. Yes.
Thank you.
I know that many people on your planet say, well, how can you possibly be excited about picking up someone else's trash? But people are, for a variety of reasons that perhaps you can't imagine, but they can be. For what it gives them may be something that you just can't fathom because you're not looking at it from their point of view. So if they're
Right.
excited about it, let them do what they're excited about, even if you never believe you could be.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, you know, how
Yes.
many different things people are excited by, you know?
Absolutely. That's why you're all unique. That's why there are so many different belief systems and points of view and perspectives. None of you are the same. That's the beauty of all that is. It's a multidimensional holographic experience, and every single component is absolutely unique. No matter how similar it may be, it's never the same.
And there's two more questions. One is, can you explain the relationship between gamma rays and the pineal gland and the frontal lobe of the physical brain?
That's a conversation for another time when we have the ability to go much more in depth.
Okay, and the last two. One, does the whole collective consciousness shift when one person awakens, making every reality for everyone else change, or is...
Doesn't make the reality for everyone else change. When one person shifts, they shift to a reality where the collective consciousness already exists differently.
Yes. And then lastly, I like this question.
Go on.
Why is it every time I see whales or dolphins, I get so emotional and I cry?
Because they're family. And you're in love. And you're releasing and letting go and joining and rising up. And it is a heartfelt experience to meet others who are truly, in their own way, in love with you.
So it's really the most beautiful homecoming to be with our extended family of cetaceans.
Absolutely. It will move toward the idea of you becoming a more holistic world, to include all the others with whom you can communicate on your planet. As we have said, remember, when we talk about the idea of having open contact with you, we're not just talking about humans. We're talking about having open contact with all life on your planet. Every single thing.
And I just realized that one of the things that happens with the dolphins and the whales is they're vibrating at such a high frequency because they're in joyful state.
Yes.
And they're coming, in a sense, from gamma, I would imagine.
In many ways, although it's slightly different for them, but yes.
But basically what happens when you harmonize with the dolphins and the whales, what happens is you reconnect so much more strongly with your own higher self.
Absolutely.
That can make you cry right there, to know how
Because it's like a homecoming, yes, as you said.
And you're so unconditionally loved by your higher self.
Yes.
To feel that will...
Yes, and remember that very often, when you buy into negative belief systems, and have been doing so for a while in your terms of time, you actually build up chemical components or chemical constituents in your body that are actually representative of those negative beliefs. So when you finally re-merge with yourself, reintegrate yourself, you have to let go of those chemical components as well as the beliefs themselves. And very often the chemical constituents of negative beliefs that you're now letting go of will actually flow out of your body through your tears. They are tears of release.
It's just so beautiful. And lastly, just wanted to let everybody know that Bashar's birthday was this week, 11/11/11. So we all love you so dearly and appreciate everything that you share with us, and especially just your uniqueness and your signature frequency. And so I'd like to invite everyone to just sing happy birthday to Bashar. So 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bashar. Happy birthday to you. And many more.
All right. We thank you. You are the best birthday present we could ever have. Now, please take a short break. We will resume this transmission with a holotope meditation that will allow you a permission slip for Gamma. We will resume shortly.
Good day, Mr. Bashar.
And good day to you.
Oh, what an honor it is to be in front of you, and God bless to you and all the beautiful people watching. How lucky we are.
It is our passion and our pleasure as well.
Now, one question I have, what about anxiety and the emotions of nervousness? Is
Same
that
idea.
similar to fear?
Same idea. They're just different levels of the idea of the vibration of fear. They're your energy flowing through negative belief systems, being colored by negative belief systems, and the idea of anxiety, nervousness are just smaller degrees of the idea and the expression that is under the overall umbrella we are referring to as fear.
And what about anger and rage?
At first, there can be what might be referred to as natural anger, which is simply a sensation of alignment, kind of an adrenaline rush of alignment, of knowing the difference between what you do and don't prefer when you're presented with something that doesn't vibrate with compatibility to you. But if that rush of alignment, that rush of what you might initially call natural anger, lasts more than about 15 seconds and goes into the idea of judgment and it then amplifies into the ideas of rage, now you are allowing yourself to simply match the frequency of the negative belief systems within you about yourself in relation to that circumstance and situation. Because once you allow yourself to align, there really is no positive reason to continue to experience that idea you call anger or rage.
And what about depression? And I'm going over all the emotions because
all right.
These are common.
Depression is simply, again, a negative definition imposed upon a natural compression. In other words, it is natural for you, when you cannot necessarily find the answers outside of you, to go within, to withdraw, because you know that's where all the answers lie, is within your consciousness. So the idea of going within and experiencing a kind of energetic compression until you process and find the answers you seek and then come out as a different person, renewed, is a natural thing that all of you do. But if you have labeled it or defined it in a negative way, that there's something wrong with you relative to society, then you will experience it in the negative context of depression, which only sends you on a downward spiral instead of allowing you to use this inner sequestering for the positive purpose of redefining yourself and finding the answers you need to allow you to be more of the person you prefer to be.
Terrific, wonderful. And can our parallel lives, our parallel realities, can it create fear-based beliefs in this reality?
By tapping into other experiences in parallel realities it may have the capacity, if you're already operating from a fear-based belief, of amplifying it if you're tapping into something similar in a parallel reality. But the idea then is that you're amplifying it for the positive reason of making it so obvious that you then have something to deal with. Do you understand?
So just so I understand, so if I focus, obviously this may sound like common sense, but if I focus on the fear and I just let the fear take over me, then I'll obviously lose to the fear, where I should just focus on the power instead of worrying.
You can do it that way. You can do it that way, but we were answering your question in the idea that, yes, sometimes a technique that people can use is to tap into other parallel versions that are also perhaps experiencing the fear in order to double, triple, quadruple, and amplify the fear within you so that it brings it to your attention more readily.
So we do that through meditation, correct?
You can do it however you wish. It can be just an exercise in your imagination. You can do it through meditation. You can allow synchronicity to present it to you. There are any number of pathways by which this can be achieved.
Terrific. As I travel down this rabbit hole of spirituality that I'm currently on, and I constantly see this universal law of karma. Is karma this important? Can we mess up this life and have to live many other lives?
No, you don't have to. No, you don't have to. The idea, again, is that you may choose to experience the idea of a reincarnation, although, again, that's just an illusion. Since everything exists all at the same time, reincarnation, in a sense, can be created as an experience, but it's not mechanically what's actually happening, that you are having another life. The idea is that you're connecting to other beings that simultaneously coexist with you, and you are downloading information that you believe may help you in this life, as they may be doing with you. But you don't actually, literally, physically, mechanically have another life. The idea, therefore, is to understand that karma really is simply the recognition that you are, as you deem it, out of balance with who you prefer to be. And in recognizing that you are out of balance with who you prefer to be, and in doing something about bringing yourself back into balance, you have right then and there recognized and erased your karma.
So just
now, people who don't do that may spend their lives out of balance, may choose the idea of creating the illusion of a reincarnation to, quote unquote, do things over in the way that they would prefer. But it's not a given. Once you are in spirit, you can choose many different kinds of pathways. Remember that from that perspective, you are much more open, have a much broader understanding of the choices that are available to you. And you can determine for yourself whether you wish to create the kind of focus that is experienced as reincarnation, or whether you wish to rebalance yourself in a completely different way. It's up to you.
And so just to piggyback on that, terrific point, Bashar, just to piggyback onto that point.
Yes.
Do we have a soul's purpose in the now? Do each and every one of us have a specific soul's purpose that we should need to meet, certain obligations that we really need to meet in this lifetime, this now?
In a sense, but we wouldn't really use the terminologies that you're using. The idea is that your fundamental purpose, all of you, your fundamental purpose is to be yourself as fully as you can. You may be exploring certain themes with this life idea of who you are as a personality, and those things may function as a sort of purpose or mission. But the idea is that following your passion will allow you to express your purpose in the unique way that fits your theme of exploration as this person in this life. But your fundamental purpose, your fundamental mission is the same for everyone, to be yourself as fully as you can. And that's why it's easier to do that when you're acting on your passion and following the formula that we've shared with all of you.
Which is a terrific formula, and it's been life-changing for me.
Yes.
I could go into it for days and days.
Yes.
But I have one more question.
Yes.
I actually know the answer to this, but it was the funniest thing I ever seen you do, Bashar. You spoke about the higher mind on the mountaintop.
Yes.
And it perceiving the physical mind. Can you give me the, how does the higher mind perceive the physical mind? Does the higher mind mock us from above?
It does no mocking whatsoever. Mocking is a human idea.
Sure.
So the idea is that it guides, it supports, it informs, it communicates through energy, which you experience physically as the sensation of passion.
And excitement.
But the idea is that, yes, same idea, attraction, curiosity, love, excitement, passion, different variations of the overall idea of the natural vibration of you, your true self. And in that sense, it has a broader picture of things. It can, in some sense, find a kind of compassionate humor in some of the things that the physical mind may choose to do that might take it out of alignment with itself, but only to the degree in the same way that you might find some mild amusement when you see a child attempting to understand things you know that it needs practice in understanding. But it is not mocking in any way, shape, or form.
Terrific. Bashar, I love you.
Our unconditional love to you as well.
And to all you beautiful people, how lucky we are to have this gentleman.
Thank you and good day.
Hi Bashar, this is Ankit from Seattle. My question for you is how to deal with enviness and jealousy. Say something I'm very excited about. I visualize and I open the doors and start acting on my passion, take actions as much as I can. But for some reason, I'm not able to manifest it, and I see someone else manifest it so easily. How should I react to it? And I do feel jealous sometimes to it. So how can I use it in positive and to my advantage? Thank you, Bashar. Goodbye.
You have too much insistence on what you think needs to manifest, and you're not using what manifests to your advantage, thinking that just because what manifests is not what you wanted, that something has gone wrong, and then projecting that idea onto others and becoming jealous and envious because you think they are doing something different, but they're not. All they're doing that's different in any way, shape, or form is accepting what is. So you have to accept what is manifesting as there being a reason for that manifestation, and use what manifests, even if you don't prefer it, in the best possible positive way you can, to learn that you are always manifesting. You never stop manifesting. And if you simply remain in a positive state, you will see that whatever shows up can actually be used to your advantage if you will change your particular perspective on the idea of needing things to manifest and insisting on things manifesting in exactly the way your physical mind thinks they ought to. Yes.
What if, there's this concept of being an empath?
Yes.
How does that play into it? Because I feel like I'm an empath.
It's the same mechanism. It's the same mechanism that we described. You cannot be empathic unless you're using your energy to match the frequency of someone else's emotional outpouring. You have to match that frequency in order to recreate a simulation of their emotion and share it in a sense. So it's the same mechanism.
But then there's books about how to stop yourself from picking up people's emotions.
Yes. All that means is you don't match the frequency. That's the entire content of those books in a nutshell. Don't match that frequency.
And if it's all my energy, what if I don't ever want to feel other people's feelings? I mean,
but remember,
upside downside?
In a sense, because remember, the idea is you have to look at the reason why you may be saying that. Because if you're saying that for a reason that is connected to fear, you're actually gravitating toward that experience. So the idea is to understand that you can allow yourself to choose to prefer certain frequencies that would automatically make it that you would not experience other people's frequencies and energies that are vibrationally incompatible with what you prefer. It's simple physics. But the idea is to be afraid to experience things when they come up like that is actually the opposite effect, because the fear puts you in that experience you don't prefer. So the idea is to know that whatever it is that does happen, figure out a way to use it positively for yourself And that means you will take yourself to a positive frequency that will make it less likely that if you experience it at all, you won't experience it for long. And you'll have learned how to control your frequency by having had an experience of a frequency you don't prefer, so that it gives you an opportunity to shift to a frequency more easily that you do prefer by contrast. You have to stay in a positive state. Remember the formula that we've shared with all of you. The fourth point in the formula is no matter what happens, even if something happens you don't prefer, you have to stay in a positive state to get a benefit out of it. Because if it does happen, there's a reason for it happening. Nothing happens by accident. So even if you experience something in a moment you don't prefer, allow yourself to use what you don't prefer in a way you do. If nothing else, being shown something you don't prefer, having an experience you don't prefer, can, by contrast, give you more clarity on what you do prefer instead. And that's a positive way to use what you don't prefer. And once you use it up, it'll go away because it has served its purpose. You've gotten the lesson, you've gotten the point, and not rejected it as being invalid or not belonging in your life. So you can't approach this from fear, or you just create more of that. You have to approach it from a positive energy so that you can use it up and send it on its way.
So is a good permission slip if you're feeling like whatever, I think you could call it someone's bad vibes or whatever. You would say, okay, I'm feeling someone's bad vibes. How can I make this positive for myself? Is that
the idea is to understand there must be a reason why you have allowed yourself to experience that. So yes, how can I use this information and how can I use this experience to illuminate myself in a positive way? Is it something that allows me to help them because I am understanding what they're going through and I can offer them an alternative? Is that one reason that I'm experiencing this from them? You only have to experience it then for the brief amount of time that you recognize you're experiencing it. And if it's for the purpose of sharing ideas with them that could allow them to change their vibration, that may be the only reason why you experienced it at all. So you have to figure out with your imagination, what is a positive way that I can use this idea, this experience of what I'm feeling right now. I already gave you the example of, by contrast, you know more clearly what you do prefer. But there may be other things that you could do with it, like helping them change their vibration.
Is it sometimes a past life thing as well?
No. Again, past lives are an illusion. There's no such thing. You make a connection from the present to other people that exist at the same time you do, that from your space-time perspective you think exist in the past. And on that connection, that energy linkage that you make, that bridge that you build between you, you are downloading information and experience. And you could say from that context, all right, well, I'm getting this information from another life, someone's life that I think of as being in the past, but it's not you. It's another person. You only experience it as having been you because from your space-time perspective, that present linkage feels like a memory. That's the way you interpret those things because you believe that there's such a thing as the past and the future. But everything exists simultaneously now because the present is all there is. So even though you may be being informed by someone else's life that you think of as a past life, it's still up to you to understand that that experience is being created in the present. It doesn't actually come from the past. Therefore, you get to use it however you wish because it's fully in your present as an experience.
Okay.
Do you understand?
I think so, because I had an experience.
Yes.
I ran into someone that I was at one of your sessions actually in Oakland.
Yes.
And there was someone in the bathroom and I felt like she totally hated me. And I didn't really know who she was other than we were at the same event.
All right. But again, if that was an accurate perception, it could be for a variety of reasons that you're picking up on the idea of her vibration. So it wouldn't even necessarily be anything personal. It might just be that you represent something that she hates about herself.
So I don't always have to necessarily look at what's going on with me. It could be also going on with the other person, and
Yes.
I'm just picking it up.
Yes.
Okay. But is it worth also looking at any type of negative beliefs I have?
Yes, of course, always. Always make sure you're clear. And then if you know you're clear, that's your first clue that it's probably the other person's issue and you're just sensitive to it.
Okay, that's good to know, because that was really confusing.
Always take the responsibility of making sure you are clear. After that, it's everyone else's issue, not yours.
Okay, oh my God, that's so, okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
That will do.
Thank you.
Child abuse is an epidemic these days, and maybe it always has been throughout the history of our world, and it's all coming out now. Does that mean children have limiting beliefs and that's why they're abused? I mean, many of the children that are abused. Or is there a different reason? Was it a choice by the soul to incarnate, to have particular experiences? Because how can a child who is still natural, still in touch with nature, have such negative belief systems? I've always found that a bit puzzling. So thank you very much.
Well, first of all, there cannot be one general answer for this because it depends upon the particular person and soul and the theme they are exploring. So there can be many reasons for those kinds of experiences. One reason can be that a soul might actually choose to have that experience because it might add to the overall collective experience of abuse and help it reach a point where your society will finally agree that such a thing should never happen again. So a soul might add to the pile of experiences knowing that by doing so, you might reach a tipping point sooner that would allow your society to change and not have those experiences from that point forward. Other children might simply pick upon the belief systems of their parents and thus harbor limiting beliefs that come from their parents because they may need to use those limiting beliefs to push against in order to transform negative experiences in their lives into more positive ones by having chosen things to push against to propel them in a more positive direction. So again, you have to kind of take it on a case-by-case, person-by-person, child-by-child basis as to why they might be experiencing certain things, either of their choosing or from the belief systems that might be ensconced in their unconscious mind that they may have picked up from parents or society or schooling or friends that demonstrate that these things exist in your society to give you an opportunity to see them more clearly and to decide what to do about changing those experiences on your planet in the future. Today's transmission is a break from the steps. We would like to introduce a deeper explanation of the concept of what we refer to as soul cycle, the cycle of the soul. So your title is Soul Cycle. The idea being that in looking at the diagram that we have provided, you start as a soul. Imagine a sphere of light, choosing to become physical, or in other words, to have a physical experience, as we have outlined, is the product of the soul choosing specific paths, specific experiences, so the soul can grow, specific ideas, specific challenges, and this is done by creating certain patterns of energy within the soul, and these patterns of energy will allow part of the soul to render down bit by bit, collapsing down into the center of the soul, as you see in the diagram. These vibrations and these specific frequencies, these specific vibrations, as they collapse down into the center, as they are focused into the center of the soul, first and foremost, create the idea of the planning stage, the blueprint stage, the template stage, where you lay out, vibrationally speaking, all of the challenges, all of the themes that you are choosing to explore specifically for the soul's growth. in what you refer to as this incarnation. So this is where you arrange and order, from conversations with your guides, with soul family, so on and so forth, the beginning of condensing down into a kind of pattern, that which represents the blueprint of the physical experience that you are choosing to have. It orders the idea of what the personality will be like, how you will approach things, and the way in which you will allow yourself to experience challenges so that you can transform them and overcome them. And then as the vibrations continue to condense a part of the soul, remember, the whole soul still stays there. That has not shrunk, but the condensation has happened within the soul, so that a part of the soul, some of the material, so to speak, of the soul, within the soul is being condensed down by these vibrations, by these frequencies that represent the soul's path in physical experience, reality. And so as it continues to condense, now you're talking about arriving at the level where the soul is about to be born physically through the physical processes that you experience in space and time, physical birth. And in that condensation, the soul develops the connection again, remains and retains the connection with the higher mind, which is what the soul is. But now you have a reference to the idea of becoming a physical focused being, but maintaining the connection to the soul, which you are now starting to refer to as the higher mind, the non-physical mind, that remains in spirit, so to speak, or remains its natural spirit self, because even the physical body is still within spirit, because it's within the soul. It's just an arrangement of frequencies that allows you to experience the idea of physicality in a different way than you typically experience yourself as a spirit, as a soul. But the idea is that the body is still part of the spirit, part of the soul. It's just a different arrangement of it, a different focus within it. And now you've arrived where you have the physical birth and being a young child, which is still very strongly connected in awareness to the soul, and can, in a sense, kind of expand back out and condense again and expand back out in a way that you would recognize from the space-time perspective as the opportunity for the young child to still go back to spirit, to not necessarily remain as a physical focused being. So for about 7 years on average, a young child still has the ability to be aware of its connection to all that is, its connection to higher mind and soul, to communicate freely, to remember things like other incarnations, so on and so forth, other connections to extraterrestrial forms, so on and so forth, but to also start organizing over those 7 years, on average, can be 9 years, can be less, but on average about 7 years, start organizing in a way that it starts absorbing ideas telepathically from its parents, its society, its schooling, its friends, to lay the foundation, to overlay the challenges, the belief systems, to feed the personality with the belief systems and arrange them that will be representative of the challenges that soul chose to face. So now this is where they start becoming crystallized into a physical personality based on the belief systems that are necessary in order to experience the challenges that the soul chose to experience, in order to discover new aspects, new perspectives of itself, and to grow by transforming these challenges and overcoming these challenges to discover a new aspect of the self. And then, in the final completion of the solidification, the crystallization of that physical persona within the center of the soul, when all the vibrations have, in a sense, finished their task of creating that physical personality within the center of the soul, now you have the older child or the adult that is fully ensconced within the idea of the physical reality it has chosen to experience, the culture it has chosen to experience, the belief systems, the themes it has chosen to experience, and how the personality expresses itself, and how it goes about responding, reacting through the belief systems to whatever it is that will give it the best opportunity to face these challenges and to transform them in a way that will allow the soul to grow. Then the cycle, in a sense, is reversed. As the soul and the physical personality learns more and more, as it chooses to transform challenges in a variety of different ways, the consciousness begins to expand again. And so the physical crystallized idea of the personality that is representative of the physical being starts to soften, starts to expand back out again, and becomes more aware, becomes more connected, aware of its connections to higher mind and other dimensions and spirit and ETs and all sorts of things. And this is the transition that you experience from the very dense third density physical experience to the less dense fourth density physical experience, which is where many of you are now transitioning into. You're becoming a fourth density human. That means your consciousness is a little bit more relaxed, more expanded, going back out toward the idea of what you are as a soul, allowing more of the vibrational connections that created your physical personality to be used as conduits of communication to the soul, to the higher mind, so that you can inform yourself, you can be a better antenna and a receiver for messages from your guides and soul family and angelic realms and extraterrestrials and extra-dimensionals and parallel realities and so on and so forth. Now you're using those vibrations that the soul used to create the physical personality as conduits of communication. So now these vibrations serve a different function, whereas initially they were used to collapse a part of the soul into a physical persona. Now with the expansion of your consciousness back outward a little bit, you are now able to use those same vibrational frequencies as conduits of communication. And then the next step up, you can see, is more the idea of a representation of an out-of-body experience, an astral form, which you experience when you are dreaming, when the body is asleep, where you are going on adventures and having conversations and having other experiences that the physical personality may remember as a dream. But for the moment, you are a little bit more expanded. And when you wake up in the morning, you may collapse back down again, but maybe not so far. So again, you are retaining the ability to ponder what that experience was about in terms of what you remember as a dream. And you are able to use those conduits of communication more efficiently because of what you learned by having the astral experience, the out-of-body experience, while your body was asleep, when you were dreaming. And so the idea is that then the astral form, being closer to spirit, between, it is not on this chart, but between the fourth density level expansion diagram and between the astral diagram is where my civilization is. As we say, we are quasi-physical, having the traits of both physical reality and spirit, so that we are actually experiencing the way you would experience reality as an astral being while we are still physical. So halfway in between that second and third stage on the diagram on the right is where my civilization exists, where we are evolving more toward being permanently astral, permanently spirit, but still retain physical properties in many different ways for a variety of reasons. But then as you start practicing more of becoming more expanded as a consciousness, spending more time in the astral realm, making different kinds of connections, learning what you needed to learn as lessons from that physical experience, and then arriving toward the end of the timing that you chose for your physical experience, then you go through the idea of the physical death, you're expanding back out fully into spirit, back fully into the idea of the soul form that you are, that sphere of light, that sphere of energy, that is the natural form of your soul. And so you have then completed the cycle, which then you can decide to do again in a different way, going round and round and round, collapsing into the center, expanding back out, collapsing into the center and expanding back out as you experience what you perceive from your linear space-time perspective to be a series of incarnational experiences that you call past lives and present lives and alternate lives, parallel lives and future lives and so on and so forth. But it's all happening within the soul as you collapse down, expand back out, collapse down, expand back out, and experience the idea of space-time and then timelessness, and space-time and then timelessness. We will talk about the degree of time in another transmission, because there is a difference between the way you experience the concept of time in physical reality, the way you experience the concept of time as a soul, and the way that the oversoul experiences the concept of time. And we will discuss this at another time. But for now, you can see in this chart the idea of the soul cycle, the cycle of the soul, as it creates experiences within itself and then goes back to its full self and then condenses down for a different experience and goes back. So it's kind of like breathing, in and out, in and out, the expansion and collapse and focus of consciousness and the expansion back into the idea of the full awareness of the soul. Now, this idea still all happens simultaneously, even though we are describing it from a linear perspective, as if these condensations happen one after another. That's the linear perspective. But again, we will discuss at another time the perspective of the oversoul, where all of these collapses down to different personalities and all the expansions back up to the soul level all happen simultaneously from the oversoul's point of view. So, we would like to have then presented this to you so you can ponder this cycle, ponder this chart, and understand the idea of what is happening so that you realize that the truth is your body does not have a soul. Your soul has a body. You don't have a soul, you are a soul. And it is within yourself as a soul that everything you call the physical reality experience happens until you decide to expand back out and experience yourself once again as the full soul that you are, always have been, and forever shall be, because you are eternal and you are infinite, and that is who you are, and that is what you are as an aspect of all that is. So we thank you for allowing us to share this idea with you this day of your time.